Hey guys, back with another Echoing Thoughts podcast here, episode number 68. And in this podcast, we're going to just answer a lot of questions that I've been getting. And then at the end, I wanted to highlight classes that are pretty unfamiliar. I think that my last video, kind of talking about my Demon Slayer a little bit more description of what the class has to showcase why I love it so much. I wanted to, I guess for myself, learn about these new classes to showcase people that post content, right? Because, I mean, that's the only way I'm going to see it is a lot of times if people post it on YouTube. So I wanted to shout out some players that are playing kind of the unknown classes and maybe make it a routine thing. Maybe each week I'll do something like this because I do think there's a lot of great players out there. There's a lot of cool classes that people don't really see, and I think um, it makes it. I always find it entertaining to see how classes differ and how they play. End game content similar to what I've been doing, right? And um, sort of the first thing I want to talk about was a question that I think a lot of people are dealing with right now, right? And with this current meta where there hasn't been any rebalances this year, and there's the patches have been quite underwhelming. People are starting to get into that, I guess what I call the dead zone, right? Sort of where they're either clearing a boss for a very long time, maybe it's Lotus or Arc, but they're not geared enough to take on the next boss, or they can't find a team to take on that next boss, that next progression, and they're maybe getting discouraged, maybe they're getting frustrated. Why hasn't there been a rebalance coming up? When is V4 coming? And so I wanted to shed some light on some things that I've done when feel like the game is a little stale, right? And this is something that I think everyone experiences at all levels. And so when it comes to this period, right, we're in between bosses, I think the best thing that I try to do is I try to form teams to at least try new content, right? So for me, right now, we are trying to get our second team that does normal Damien into a hard Damien clear, right? And last week we got our first week of practice. We didn't clear. We had some unfortunate circumstances happen, but this week we're going to try again. And I think we have the DPS to clear, but again, it always comes down to mechanics. It always comes down to just reps, right? And that is the same for any boss. I remember we had it with Lotus. I remember we had it with normal Damien. And so I always try to get people to form teams and lead teams to at least get people excited, because if there is a rebalance that does come, which I do anticipate one to come either in June or July, or if V4 comes in June or July, which is expected to happen, people are going to be excited, right? They're going to be ready to clear that first week versus, waiting until the rebalance or the V4 comes out and then they start practicing. And then they fall a few weeks behind when they could have been practicing, getting reps, getting experience, practicing mechanics. And then when they actually are ready to clear, they're hitting the ground running, right? And each week, as you know, if there are resources, shards to be had, or coins or whatever it is, every week matters, right? Whether from like Root Abyss level to Lotus to Damien to Arc, even if you want shards, every day matters. And so, the sooner you can clear, even if you're just practicing and prepping for a later date, it really, I think it gets people excited. And when the time does come, they are clearing and excited, and it all pays off, right? It feels like it's a great achievement. And I think that that is something that I always recommend, trying to, no matter what boss you're at, just trying to do that next thing, right? Because the free damage, the V4, the rebalance, that's all nice and dandy, but without the mechanics, without the experience with the bosses, you're just not going to clear, right? So that is what I'm doing right now, and I highly recommend you guys doing that because a rebalance is coming. It's coming. People are waiting for it, and V4 is coming, and it's gonna be a good time. So take advantage of that and get to that next boss. Get to that next. Form your teams. Form the teams now. What I'm saying is because you want to pick your teammates, right? You want to get the best support classes. You want to get the best DPS classes. You want to get people that you enjoy playing with. And because once V4 comes out, everyone's going to be want to forming teams and things like that. And if you can pick your team now and find the players that are going to give you the best chance to clear now, then you're already one step ahead, right? And you're not worried about people getting poached. You're not worried about people jumping teams and things like that, or people already finding a team. You're already one step ahead of everyone else, right? So that is what I would usually recommend for what I call the dead zone, which is honestly what's been happening the last few months. It's been pretty dry as far as content, and got to keep yourself entertained. You got to keep yourself, doing something before you get bored and burn out. All right, so this next question is from Kevin Berg 4623 from YouTube. He said, "You should make a list of the most fun and enjoyable classes for casual players." And I mean, this is a loaded question. I think it's very subjective, but I feel like I'm pretty well equipped to answer this question. I was thinking about it, trying to jot down how many classes I've played, and there are 41 classes. Can you guess how many I played? If you've been following along, I've posted a video of me playing every single one of these classes back in the Hard Magnus days. Pretty crazy. This was 2024, 2022, maybe 2021. I started doing Hard Magnus. I've been making content for a long time. Holy crap. But I've played 17 classes at the Hard Magnus level, dating back to, it must have been 2021. I don't know. Way back when. Yeah. Crazy. But 17 class. I played Demon Slayer, Hero, Dawn Warrior, shout out to Probolic, Pally, Kaiser, Wind Archer, Wild Hunter, Bishop, Blaze Wizard. I think I played a Blaze Wizard. I don't know if I made content on that. I'll take that one back, but I'm pretty sure I have Pathfinder, Nightlord, Nightwalker, Shadower, Phantom, Dual Blade, Angelic Buster, and Shade. 17 classes. And that's pretty crazy. A lot of fun, honestly. And yeah. And so which one was the most fun? Back then, I think for me, definition wise, like if I were to say for like a casual player, what would be the most enjoyable class to play? I got to think of like what class fits my playstyle personally. And then I think I got to go with one of the things that I love, which is graphics, which is just the animations, something that is just visually appealing. So those are sort of the two criterias, but definitely playstyle. My playstyle, I found out, is sort of pretty simple, where I like to have classes that are sort of a one preset button class, and then has a lot of like mobility or support skills to rotate through or toggle through, a lot of optionality, right? So I do like classes that attack on the move, but it's not everything, right? Like a Phantom or Wind Archer, Wild Hunter, I find myself that I like it, but what I like more is more reactive mobility skills, like a reactive dash or a charge. So like Angelic Buster has a very like responsive charge skill, and like Kaisers have a teleport, right? Kaisers are a little bit stiff in my opinion because they feel a little bit more tanky. I don't like their mobility, but their teleport's nice. But for me, I would say like the number 5, right? Most fun, enjoyable class. And I actually haven't played it at the level 200 V4 level, so I'm not gonna put this one there. But I think like if you are into like what looks the coolest and looks like the most fun to play at fifth job, just based on like um, combos and the best looking class, it has to be the Evan. I think Evan is just like the skills are just a badass to look at. They have good burst. Their skills actually are, it's easier to play, I heard, combo wise than it was before. And I mean, if you love mages and if you love mobbing, if you love to see you flying on a dragon, just summoning dragons, just doing huge bursts, I think Evans are pretty awesome, like pretty unique in their own way and sort of an iconic class altogether. But for me, playstyle wise, I actually really loved like the hero and paladin are very similar. They have the up jump, they have the dash that are pretty responsive. They're very simple, but their attacks hit fast. So I like that they hit fast because I could react quicker to things, right? I think like one class that kind of stood out that was a little bit clunky, I think, was kind of the Nightwalker. At times when I played it, made it's a lot better now, I think. But before it was um, like there's just a little bit of a delay between their skills because the clones had to attack as well. So that was a little awkward, but and just not as smooth, I think. And then obviously Demon Slayer. So I would put like the most basic classes, but that had like optionality, like Demon Slayer, Paladin, Hero, kind of things that class that came to mind. They fit my playstyle very well, and like they were interchangeable, I guess. Like when I played my Paladin and played the Hero, it felt very um, like nothing changed really, and that's me personally. I enjoyed that. I wouldn't say it's for everybody, um, but yeah, those three. And then I've always been a fan of, I'm gonna put, so this is obviously based on I can't speak for playing other classes, right? I've have all the Legion. I don't want to speak out of my realm of experience, but I've only played all the other classes below like around 175 for Legion. So there's still obviously a huge toolkit that's I haven't experienced, right, firsthand. And so I'm only going to speak from my experience. So those three are my favorite. And then I really like Shadowers. Shadowers is my first main. That for people that know me, that's no surprise that I just love Shadowers. They just have great mobility. Their attacks are fun. They're just like I just really enjoyed it, and I choose it over Dual Blade a little bit because I think what I like about Shadowers is their attack range is a little bit farther. I think Dual Blade's Phantom Blow it feels like it has to be right on top of the boss, and sometimes doesn't like it. I just don't like the lack of range there, which is another thing that I really like. And then just thinking of these classes, like I want to say Phantom, but I think now like I thought Phantom was okay. Um, you know what? I had a lot of fun playing the Angelic Buster. I'm gonna shout out Angelic Buster. I mean, this is the 17 classes I played, right? So it's a little take it with a grain of salt. But what I really liked about the Angelic Buster was it wasn't like back then, and I know it's been rebound since. So we're actually gonna sneak peek, maybe take a look at some Angelic Buster gameplay after this. But I really liked how there were a lot of different buttons. And I like that their iframe was unique. Like it was kind of built into their burst, and I think it's a little bit different now. But I liked how fast and reactive the charge was. The skills look cool. The spotlight, and they have that little tornado skill as well. And I just thought that it wasn't like the reason I didn't choose Phantom was because Phantom felt a little bit too easy. Like it wasn't fun being like in iframes the entire time and being able to attack on the move. It just felt like it had too much of the best stuff. Angelic Buster felt like there was a skill cap to it, but it was still fluid enough to where it was fun and reactive and mobile. And at the same time, I felt very rewarding when I played the Angelic Buster, and when I could play it like very well. I didn't die. I timed my iframes perfectly. I timed my burst, my DPS and stuff, and I actually hit a PR time, or I did good damage, because my range of outcomes, depending on how I played, was like, I remember it was like I would clear Hard Magnus in like 3 minutes and sometimes 2 minutes. And then other times it would take me like 4+ minutes and I would die a few times and it'd have to be like, really sweaty run. So I like that the gameplay style was fun and fluid enough, and obviously visually appealing, but it wasn't. It was still challenging enough where I had to actually concentrate. The damage wasn't the greatest, but when I played it right, it felt very satisfying to me. And I think that there's a lot of classes out there that feel like they're not so overpowered, right? Like a Phantom or a Paladin that just has like Synchro. Let's just admit it. That's what the skill that's overpowered. Um, and there's just more room for error. And it feels like it like when you survive and play well, it translates and it feels fulfilling. And I think that's what I really liked about Angelic Buster. It definitely wasn't broken by any means, but man, was it is actually really fun to play. And I think it was very underrated. So yeah, top 5 most enjoyable classes that I've played, right? So kind of just want to go off what I've done before, and obviously um, there's a lot more classes out there. I think the main message that I want to get out is that everyone's opinion on what's fun is different. So like what I enjoy playing is different than what other people enjoy playing. They'll probably disagree. They'll probably like hero and paladins are boring, right? It's just a one skill preset, things like that, and I totally get it, right? But I think the main thing is you have to figure out what classes um, fits your play style and what you enjoy, because asking me is like based on my experience from years ago, and a lot of things change, and what I enjoy um, is not for everybody. All right, so another great question I got was best class to solo Lotus with minimal gear, right? So I would say the minimal gear probably at this current state of the meta and probably with V4 is maybe just a Necro weapon, level 40, 30k physical attack, maybe even less now. And obviously some mythic emblems, um, maybe like 15 mil cap is plenty enough in my opinion. And so what would I think are the best classes? The first class that obviously came to mind is a Phantom. Phantom attacks on the move, has so much support skills, has the iframes to cycle through, and in phase 1 they can teleport and stay on the ground with that shroud walk. So I mean, absolutely broken. I think the main thing about solo Lotus is that they're just minimal lives, right? So you have to have great survivability. um, you have to get through phase 1 as quickly as possible, avoid those bombs. Having good AoE damage helps as well, but yeah, I think that's kind of the number one factor, is getting through phase 1 as quickly as possible without minimal deaths. And then phase 2 and phase 3 is really just about, I would say, just kiting and DPS. Avoid that, having enough HP to avoid kind of the frontal attack that one shots, because I think it hits pretty hard, like 110k still. So you still need a decent amount of HP, or you just have iframes and just attack on the move. And I think Phantoms, their ability to kind of just walk through the boss or kite and stand behind and avoid damage if you get comfortable knowing when the attacks are going to come. I mean, not much can beat it. They also have pretty good AoE map clearing abilities that can handle the bombs in phase 1. And yeah, they're just the number one solo class in the game, in my opinion. And then the second class that came to mind was actually a Sia. I think because Sia, obviously in phase 1, they'll handle the bombs. They can teleport on the ground level, so they're not going to have to worry about really, they're going to clear the bombs fast and easy. They're not going to have to worry about lasers speeding up, because teleporting is the easiest way to deal with that. And then if they're in trouble or they start dying a lot, they can just throw an hourglass and they're never going to die, right? So their lives, you only get like 3 lives, I think, maybe 4 in solo, and Sia kind of just defeats that, right? They can have endless lives. So I think Sias are very good as well. That's the second class that came to mind. And then Paladin is the third one. I would say Paladin or Shade. Yeah, it's probably my top 4. Paladins, Synchro, 3 iframes to deal with, great burst. They can actually self-heal on their own as well. Shades, they actually have an extra Heaven's Door. Shades have an extra Heaven's Door. They can teleport on the bottom, backstep. They can clear bombs with the They're hypers. They have a few iframes as well. Yeah, I think and I think Shades have a long attack range as well, so they can sort of kite and backstep away and kind of kite Lotus in phase 2 and phase 3. And so yeah, I think those are my top 4 classes. No surprise, they're all probably the best solo classes in the game. So um, yeah, that kind of answers that question. But then if you have any questions, again, this is kind of just a few that I get that really stood out. But if you have any questions, feel free to DM me in Discord. Feel free to comment on YouTube. I like if it's very private or you want more specific details to you, DM Discord at Echo MSM on Discord. You can find me around. And if not, just comment below. I appreciate all the comments. I enjoy conversing and having conversation with all these people about the game and helping them out. So don't be afraid to reach out to me. I definitely enjoy it. But we're right back, and I actually want to showcase that one class that I want to look at, Angelic Buster, full Lotus run. Excited to look at this one. And just want to share this video a little bit with Solo Lotus. This is from Josh42. I'll share his link in the description, but he's I think a 20 mil cap. Yeah, 20.4 mil cap. This is back in September of 2023. He's doing Solo Lotus, and yeah, sped it up a bit, but I mean, I just love the fact that he did full animations. Just love that. I mean, if you're playing an Angelic Buster, like, you got to, right? Look at that. Sick. That's what I'm talking about. I need more people like this. People think I'm a psycho. I mean, come on now. Look at that. If you got it, flaunt it, right? The spotlight is sick. It kind of just cleaves those bombs as it comes in. Look at that. Perfect for Lotus. Good AoE. Kind of just passive bomb damage. Great job kind of taking the platforms there. Got a little iframe there going as well. Love to see it. And this is one of my favorite skills that they have is that little tornado skill. And their main skill right there is similar to Demon Slayer's Demon Awakening, where it kind of has 4 attacks combo, but I think they all do the same amount of lines now. It got rebalanced recently because they were pretty underwhelming. But look at how many skills they have that are actually being used. They have a great charge that doesn't really utilize in phase 1, but man, he's pumping. He's pumping good damage for sure. Yeah. 70 build DPM the first 2 minutes. Nice. That's huge. Yeah, you see that dash right there was fluid and nice and quick and like compact. Right there. That's nice. This guy does a great job of, as I say that. But I think he had, nice. Take it, survived. Iframe there. I think it's like a short 33-second iframe too. So, well played. Great job by the team right there. Love to see it. I mean, pretty cool. So, I mean, you can obviously see that even with 20.4 mil cap, kind of similar to my Demon Slayer. I mean, he's top of the charts, right? Doing good DPS. The team obviously, he obviously is a great player. He didn't die at all there, which is tough when you take out the platforms and things like that. But yeah, nice burst. Timing with the DS4, love to see it. So you know this guy knows what's going on. Timed his burst perfectly there. The dash is nice. The dash is so smooth. And that's why I said it was one of my favorite classes to play. I mean, it's really surprising how good and fluid it is. Like that dash is one of the best in the game, in my opinion. Like, just abuse it. They got it. Abuse it. Right? Look at that. Just right back on top. Nice burst there. Oh, purple phase. That was unfortunate there. Butt freezer. Ah. Spotlight. Nice, nice. Perfect. Use it at the end of DS4 there. I highly recommend you listen to this video, watch this video with music up, because yeah, the music's sick. The music is sick for sure. And I did speed this video up a little bit, so 1.25 speed. So I mean, obviously the attacks are a little bit faster. The dash looks a little bit faster than you would expect, but it's still a great skill, great mobility. Oh, that was unfortunate. Yeah, so I mean, if you guys are into Angelic Buster content, I was trying to look for someone that did Endgame. This guy posted quite a bit of content. I think he stopped maybe posting for a while, because this is kind of one of the more recent videos that he posted, but he did Mulong Floor 3043. I didn't see him do any Damien content, but if there's any Angelic Buster like Damien content or anything like that, send it to me. Uh, Post a link below. I love to see it. And if there's anyone in general that you want me to showcase soon, that you think is an under recognized class, or I mean, great job. Great job. I mean, the deaths were avoidable. Did a great job overall. But yeah, if there's any classes you want to showcase, let me know in the next video. I got some lined up. I was looking at some classes, but if there's anyone in particular, any class in particular, let me know. I'm excited to look at new content, share and showcase with you guys. Shout out to these content creators. I'd like to see more. There's so many great classes out there. Showcase them. Post it, please. Tag me in it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed this little. Let me know if you want to see more, like if you like this or not. You want me to talk about something else? Let me know. But thank you again for watching, listening. I'll see you guys next time.